What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Jay Debates. I'm your host. I go by the name of Jay, and we are now on to episode 29, live from the city of Chicago. Shout out to Chicago. It's such a beautiful city. The views here are crazy. If I sound a bit different, it may be the wind. The wind may be interfering. I did have to kind of play around with the mic to make sure I still sound like myself. I mean, it's called the Windy City for a reason, and I am relatively high as far as the flooring goes. So just keep that in mind. But other than that, I'm supposed to be on vacation. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and drop another episode. Do my homework, do my research, drop another episode just to keep everybody updated on what's going on in the NBA, what's popping in the NBA, what's trending in the NBA. And with that being said, again, we are on to episode 29. Whatever platform you're on, make sure you're showing love, like, comment, subscribe, follow, review, get notified, all that. Check out the official website of this podcast, jdebase.com. We sell quality merchandise on there with everything from shirts to hoodies to windbreakers to sweatshirts, etc. It's all available on the official site. If you missed episode 29, go back and check it out. It's titled Ranking the Top 5 Most Improved Teams This Summer. As the title suggests, we rank the teams who made the biggest changes to their roster in terms of adding players and decided which team improved the most this summer. Now, piggybacking off of that episode, for episode 29, we will rank the top 10 picks so far in the summer league. I must say, these new pros are mostly balling so far for a draft that's supposed to be one of the worst drafts in a while. I get it's the summer league. I get it's diminished competition. But still, I'd be lying if I said these guys haven't exceeded my expectations. Now, in episode 20, I gave out a scouting report on each of the top 10 picks. So let's now see how they're doing and re-rank them based on their summer league performances. Let's get into it. At number 10, we've got Alexander Sarr. Next. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory why he's at number 10. But I will go ahead and respectfully explain why he's at the 10th spot on this list. So I'm going to go ahead and read out his stats. And, I mean, you do what you want with him. But here we go. In his 4 games played throughout the summer league, he's played 29.6 minutes per game. And he's averaging a whopping 5.5 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 steal, and 2.5 blocks per game. And he's doing this on a whopping 19% from the field, 12% from 3, and 50% from the line. Now, in all honesty, I don't really need to explain why he's at number 10. But here we go. Sarr has been struggling heavily so far. He's shooting 19% from the field, 12% from 3, and 50% from the free throw line. His 0-point game, going 0 for 15 from the field and 0 for 7 from 3, should have been seen as a declaration of war on his own damn teammates. I understand everyone has bad games, but he's 7 feet tall. You would think that he'd get the memo to stop trying to take so many threes on a night where they're not falling and focus on getting easy looks down low. He is rebounding solidly, dishing some assists, and doing good protecting the rim and forcing turnovers. But he's shooting world tour numbers. At this very moment, most 7-footers shoot well above 50% from the field due to operating primarily in the paint. This fact makes Sarr's performance all the more garbage. He definitely has shown his agility improved his shot creating ability and ability to get to the rim by putting the ball on the floor, but Sarr has struggled finishing what he started, whether it is driving or shot creating. At number 9, we got the big man, Zach Edey. And in his one game played, he played almost 9 minutes, and he scored 6 points, grabbed 3 rebounds, dished out 0 assists, got 1 block, had 0 turnovers, shot 100% from the field, and had 0 attempted threes and free throws. Not really much to analyze due to him barely playing in this summer league. But what stood out to me in the 8.5 minutes he played was his movement without the ball offensively, as he made a few nice off-ball cuts that led to easy dunks. His awareness to play help defense was also briefly shown as he quickly clogged up the paint and would go on to block opposing players who had all but a free 2 points had Edey not quickly intervened. The man is shooting 100% and hasn't missed anything in Summer League and has committed 0 turnovers. But these occurrences are obviously due to him playing less than 10 minutes throughout the whole summer. Nothing negative to really say about Edey's play when he was on the floor. He just wasn't on the floor long enough to place him any higher on this list. So, for that reason, he stays at number 9. Again, we just didn't see enough. We just didn't see him play enough to be able to really give a full scouting report, a full analysis on his game. So, moving on, at number 8, we got T1 Salon. And in his 3 games played, he played 19 minutes. He averaged 9 points. He averaged 7 rebounds, 0 assists, 1 turnover, 0 blocks, 0 steals, and he shot 42% from the field, 10% from 3, and 50% from the free throw line. So Salon has overall been less than impressive this summer. I understand he's only playing 19 minutes per game, but he is shooting like he has an eye patch on. To cut him some slack though, there are a lot of players not shooting too hot on this list, to put it nicely. And on the positive side, what Salon has done good is showcase the ability to finish at the rim and draw fouls. Not saying he's automatic with either, but he did show impressive speed and control out on the break for his height. Couple that with his strength, and he could be pretty good going coast to coast in the league. At least that's what stands out to me when I looked at his game, when I looked at his highlights. Overall though, he hasn't done anything to really work, to really raise eyebrows. So we got to place him at number 8. At number 7, we got Rob Dillingham. In his 5 games played, he's played 30 minutes per. He averages 13.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 3 turnovers, 1 steal, and a half a block per game. He's shooting 36% from the field, 31% from 3, and 54.5% from the free throw line. So despite also shooting poorly from everywhere, Dillingham has displayed his potential through his shot creating, slick handles, quickness, and playmaking. He's very productive aside from scoring with his rebounding and assisting numbers, but he is also flipping the ball a considerable amount as well. Dillingham is showing to potentially be a really good player in the future, but his turnovers and poor shooting overall this summer are what land him at number 7. I must say, he's probably my favorite player to watch because he has some really nice handles. Like, the way that he creates his shot is really poetic, and it's giving me Kyrie Irving type of vibes. But yeah, the handles, the flashy dribbling, I can't place him higher just based on that. So At number 6, we got number 1 pick, Zachary Ricochet. In his 2 games played, he averaged 29.5 minutes per game and averaged 14.5 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 0 steals, and a half a block per game. He did this on shooting splits of 39% from the field, 25% from 3, and 43% from the free throw line. Do not look at this placement and think Ricochet is horrible or a future bust for not being top 5. Ricochet only played in 2 Summer League games and was fairly productive in both of them. Though his shooting numbers aren't good anywhere, as you have seen from everybody, excluding Zach Edey thus far, Ricochet has shown to have poise and play his game despite all the pressure. His small 1 turnover average is evidence of this. He already looks like a professional who is scoring in all types of ways, including catch and shoot threes, mid-range pull-ups, fast break finishes, and coast-to-coast jams. Ricochet's positioning on this list can be blamed on his games played, which puts most players in this convo at a disadvantage. If you're playing 2 games or less, you're automatically pretty much at a disadvantage. I mean, unless you had a great 1 or 2 games, your numbers may not reflect what you're truly capable of. With that being said, Ricochet is showing great potential, but didn't have any monster performances in his 2 showings. Now, let's get into the top 5. At number 5, we got Donovan Clingan. And in his 4 games played, he played 25 minutes on average and averaged 9 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 turnovers, 1 steal, 4 blocks, and he shot 36% from the field, 23% from 3, and 50% from the free throw line. He is the second most all-around player in this conversation. He's been doing a little bit of everything, but mainly scoring, rebounding, and shot blocking. Clingan is averaging a near double-double. He's just been a pain for opposing defenders driving to the basket. If he's not blocking shots, he's disrupting shots greatly. Offensively, he's been doing great rolling off of pick and rolls and has been a bit of a bully posting up. But he has also utilized very good footwork here and there to score inside the paint. Because Clingan is one of the best all-around players and the best rim protector in the top 10, he earns a top 5 spot. His 9-point average on 36% field goal shooting while being 7'2", however, is what holds him back. Now, at number 4, we got Stephon Castle. And in his 1 game played, he played 29 minutes. He put up 22 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 turnovers, 1 steal, and 1 block. And he shot 38% from the field, 33% from 3, and 80% from the free throw line. Despite only playing 1 game before getting shut down, like previously mentioned, Zach Edey, Stephon Castle absolutely showed out. Scoring, rebounding, assisting, stealing, blocking, he did it all. His shooting splits weren't great, but they were better than the majority of players we've already ranked. His handles, speed, and craftiness were impressive in his 1 Summer League game. Castle demonstrated a level of control and patience when getting into the paint. Had Castle played more than 1 game and produced solid numbers, he would have probably been in the top 3 and maybe even top 2. But the fact that it's not certain whether he just had a good first game or that he can be this nice consistently is what prevents him from being ranked any higher. Not to mention, Castle had 5 turnovers in this game and shot under 40% from the field. Regardless, in this case, because of his impressive contributions, you definitely take the good with the bad. At number 3, we got Ron Holland. And in his 3 games played, he played 29.5 minutes on average. He averaged 17 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, and 1 block per game. He shot 41% from the field, 23.5% from 3, and 65% from the free throw line. My pick for the best player in this draft in episode 20, Ron Holland, has been solid in the 3 games he's played. He's shown aggressiveness, strength, defense, and finishing ability. The explosiveness Holland has displayed is something I think will be hard to stop in the league. His build and athleticism only make this statement more convincing. I spoke on this back in episode 20 saying Holland has one of the most NBA-ready statures due to him being 6'8" and weighing 200 pounds and also having crazy agility. Holland has definitely come to play this summer as he's not just scoring a healthy amount but also rebounding well and nicely guarding the perimeter, getting blocks and steals. One of the biggest reasons Holland dropped in the draft, because he was projected to be a top 3 pick and even the number 1 pick at one point in time, one of the biggest reasons as to why his stock fell is because his high turnover average scared scouting teams away when he was in the G League. But he's now only averaging 1 turnover in 29.5 minutes, just like number 1 pick, Zachary Ricochet. Despite being more aggressive, much more aggressive, and playing much faster than Zachary Ricochet. So when you factor that in, you would think that he should be flipping the ball a bit more than, definitely more than just 1 turnover per game. So that is a plus. That's a good look for the Pistons so far. His production, defense, ball protection, all of these things are what earn him a top 3 spot. His poor shooting prevents him from being placed any higher. On to the top 2. At number 2, we got Cody Williams. In his 4 games played, he's played 30 minutes per game, and he's averaged 15 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 0 steals, and 1 block, and he's shooting 55% from the field, 37.5% from 3, and 89% from the free throw line. Cody Williams is looking like the steal of the top 10 so far. He's hands down the most efficient shooter of the top 10 this summer. He's shooting everything from threes to mid-range jumpers to free throws at a more than good enough level. The most repeated negative I keep saying about nearly everyone in this convo is their poor shooting percentages. That's what I keep saying about everybody. Williams has shown the complete opposite, with him shooting nearly 50-40-90 splits. He's well over 50% field goal wise. He's 2.5% off 3-point wise and 1% off free throw wise. His 15 point per game average is higher than most others on this list. Utah fans should be excited because he's been making scoring look easy and he looks very NBA ready. The only negative that stands out is he's not doing much in the rebounding and assist categories. Again, he's only averaging 3 rebounds and 2 assists per game. And this is a negative considering that he's playing 30 minutes per game. So for that reason, Williams could not be at the top of this list. At the top of this list, let's get into it. The number one player this summer that was drafted in the top 10 of the 2024 NBA draft is Reed Sheppard. Sheppard played 4 games, averaged 33 minutes, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 turnovers, 3 steals, and 1 block. He did this on shooting splits of 50% from the field, 28% from 3, and 75% from the free throw line. Now, if you were using the process of elimination, you already knew who it would be. Reed Sheppard is doing it all in the summer league. He's scoring, he's rebounding, he's assisting, he's stealing, and he's blocking shots. His jumper has been pure for the most part, despite most shots being well defended. He hasn't had a lot of good looks, but if you remember in episode 20, I mentioned the fact that Sheppard shot 52% from 3 despite taking 144 attempts, and he shot 54% from the field in college. I mean, I still scratch my head at those numbers. He's a guard shooting that well, both inside and outside of the 3. If you remember, he was my initial pick for the best player in this draft, but I placed Ron Holland above him solely due to Sheppard's relatively small size for a guard and lack of athleticism. So far, Sheppard is proving that doesn't matter, and that his hot shooting from college may translate to the league. On the negative side though, Sheppard is averaging 5 turnovers per game. That is very bad even for a guard. So that's clearly a negative, not to mention he's shooting poorly from 3. Like I said, 28%. Also, very bad, one of the worst 3-point percentages, despite the 3-point jump shot being one of his specialties that he was really, really great at in college. So, potentially a shooting slump. I mean, as far as him turning the ball over, I don't really have an excuse for that. I know it's probably a bit, faster pace. I don't know. I don't really have an excuse for that. Got to be better as far as taking care of the ball goes. But outside of that, his good most definitely outweighs his bad. I mean, he is still the second best shooter on this list. Despite shooting poorly from 3, he's still shooting 50% from the field. He's still shooting 75% from the free throw line, which isn't great at all. But hell, it's great when you look at the summer league. It's great when you look at what everybody else is shooting. I mean, he is the most all-around player on this list. And when I say he's the second best shooter, I do leave out Zach Edey and his 100% field goal percentage because of him only taking three field goal attempts. So yeah, altogether, it's only right. The best all-around player, best steals man, second highest scorer, and second best shooter in this discussion. I think it's only right that he gets the number 1 spot. So there you have it. The verdict is in. I thank you all for listening till the very end. Again, show love, like, comment, subscribe. I don't care what platform you're on. This is Jada Bates, and I'm out.